What if I told you a man wearing a hoodie walked into some of the biggest casinos in America and legally walked out with $15 million? No cheating, no hidden devices, no card counting team, no fake identity, just math, patience, and a strategy so smart that by the time casinos understood what was happening, they had already lost millions. This is the unbelievable true story of Don Johnson, the man who proved that sometimes the house doesn't always win. Casinos are built on psychology. The lights, the sounds, the free drinks, the excitement, it's all designed to keep people playing. And behind every table game sits one powerful truth. The house always has the edge. Maybe small, maybe invisible, but over time, that edge turns into billions. That's why casinos are confident. That's why they build giant towers. That's why they smile when players walk in. But in 2011, one man turned that confidence into panic. His name was Don Johnson. And using nothing more than negotiation, discipline, and cold mathematics, he took around $15 million from 3 Atlantic City casinos. Stay until the end, because what happened after the wins may be even crazier than the wins themselves. The man nobody feared. Don Johnson didn't look dangerous. He didn't arrive with bodyguards. He didn't wear expensive suits. He didn't flash luxury watches or celebrity energy. Most of the time, he looked like an ordinary guy. Hoodie, jeans, baseball cap, the kind of person people ignore in a casino lobby, and that was perfect. Because while casinos searched for arrogant billionaires and loud high rollers, they underestimated the quiet man who understood the game better than almost anyone in the room. Don wasn't a random gambler chasing luck. He had deep experience in racing, gambling systems, and gaming operations. He understood probabilities. He understood contracts. He understood how casinos think. And soon, that knowledge would become worth millions. Atlantic City was desperate. To understand how Don won, you need to understand why casinos became vulnerable. Go back to the late 2000s. Atlantic City was in trouble. For years, it had been one of America's biggest gambling destinations. Money flowed constantly. Tourists arrived daily. High rollers spent huge amounts. Then, everything changed. The financial crisis hit. People had less disposable income. Nearby states opened casinos of their own, meaning gamblers no longer had to drive to Atlantic City. Why travel hours when you can gamble nearby? Revenue dropped hard. Casinos started panicking. Some cut staff. Some cut costs. Some looked for desperate solutions, and one solution was simple. Bring in whales. Big gamblers. People willing to lose millions in one weekend. So casinos began offering richer and richer incentives. Luxury suites, private jets, limos, free dining, VIP treatment. But even that stopped being enough. So they offered something far more dangerous. The deal that changed everything. They introduced loss rebates. This meant if a wealthy gambler lost a large amount, the casino would refund part of the loss. Lose $500,000? Maybe get back 10%. Lose more? Maybe 15%. Some deals went even higher. To casinos, it sounded brilliant. High rollers would feel protected, play more aggressively, and still lose in the long run. Because the casino still believed one thing. They controlled the math. But then they made a mistake many giant businesses make. They assumed nobody on the other side was smarter than them. Then they called Don Johnson. Don didn't gamble first. He studied first. Most people would hear a casino offering special treatment and run straight to the blackjack table. Don did the opposite. He slowed down. He listened carefully. He took notes. Then he contacted mathematicians and probability experts. He wanted exact numbers, not guesses, not emotions, not casino promises. He studied every detail: blackjack rules, dealer actions, splitting options, surrender rules, bet limits, rebate structure, session timing. Then the calculations came back, and the result was shocking. If structured properly, the player had the advantage, not the casino. That almost never happens. But Don had found a crack in the system. The secret formula. Normally, blackjack gives the house a small edge if the player uses decent strategy. But Don negotiated rules that weakened that edge even more. He wanted dealer stands on soft 17, late surrender allowed, re-splitting aces allowed, very high betting limits. Each rule alone looked small. Together, they mattered. Then came the biggest weapon of all, a 20% rebate on major losses based on each session. That meant if Don lost heavily, he got money back. If he won heavily, he kept everything. If he played disciplined sessions, used optimal strategy, and knew when to stop, the numbers favored him. The casino had accidentally created a game where the customer could win long term, and they signed the paperwork themselves. Think about how insane this is. A casino, a place built by experts to take money from players, accidentally created a deal where a player could legally take money from them instead, and they still had no idea what was coming. The first sessions, Don didn't rush in trying to win millions on day one. He moved carefully, quietly. He played like someone enjoying a weekend gamble. No celebrating, no showing off, no suspicious behavior. He'd win $400,000, then leave. Another time, $600,000, then leave. Another session, hundreds of thousands more. Casinos noticed, but they weren't alarmed yet. Lucky streaks happen. Sometimes gamblers win. That's part of the business. What they didn't realize was Don wasn't chasing excitement. He was following a controlled financial model. Every session had targets. Every bet had purpose. Every exit point had logic. This wasn't gambling. It was execution. The loss that made him stronger. Then, something important happened. Don lost big in one session. Hundreds of thousands. Casinos felt relieved. Finally, they thought, the luck is over. But because of his negotiated rebate, a large chunk of that loss came back immediately. His damage was reduced, and psychologically, the loss helped him. Now casino staff believed he was normal. He wins sometimes, he loses sometimes. Just another gambler riding swings. Their suspicion dropped. That made the next phase possible, building trust before the strike. This part is genius. Many people think winning is only about numbers. But Don understood people. If he had walked in and crushed them immediately every time, casinos would shut everything down. The man in the hoodie beat the billion-dollar machine. If you enjoyed this unbelievable true story, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. Would you sit at a table betting $100,000 per hand, even with the advantage? See you in the next video.